Hey everybody, this video is for people that own like a 2013 Ford Escape, or I don't know what other models apply, but if you got a radio, if you got a radio that's an 8-inch LCD and you find it's not working like mine did, Ford's got some recalls out there. You can buy a Ford radio. It's usually like $1,000 or $1,500 to get one put in. So I looked at some aftermarket radios, and there wasn't hardly anything out on YouTube on how to do that. So I put together this short video here. Again, I'm talking about this. This is the 8-inch LCD that'll be in your dash. Basically it quits making sound, quits responding. So I basically got a hold of Crutchfield, and they gave me, there's like 3 radio options out there you can use. I went with this JVC, like KW M750 BT and RB, but that's the number, the one that I used. Like I said, there's like 3 radios. I think there's a Kenwood and something else, but anyway, I kind of go through the steps on how to put it in. Sorry, I don't go through each and every nut and bolt you take out. I kind of speed through that in this video. And as far as taking the plastic off, that's pretty straightforward for people. But anyway, check it out. I hope it helps. Thanks. I'm going to show pulling off this top piece. I've already got it pretty well broke loose, but it's just a matter of going in and popping clips. You'll see there's clips all around here, go all the way to the back. Just pop those loose. Use one of these tools here. There's a wire connector right here. Go up on top, you go up on this side here, just press the release button on that. That'll pull out of there. Piece comes off. And that's kind of what it looks like, all the little clips holding it there. Next thing we're going to do, we got a couple of screws up here at the top of this bezel. We'll take out. And we'll be ready to pop this bezel off of here. The next step is we pop this bezel up out. It's the same thing, it pops up out, and then there's a little connector. I'm trying to show it here. Yeah. Little connector goes in right here in the back. See that in the back, and then there's just a little white piece of strain relief goes in there. You have to pop those 2 out. That comes out like that. One of my vents stayed in place, but we'll pull that out. Okay, once you got your top off, you got your vents out and your bezel, now we're going to pull out the 8-inch LCD, or it's the APM module is what it is. I'm kind of fast forwarding here just to show you the steps, but unbolt your screws here on the brackets. I've already got those off, but you just unbolt your screws in your brackets and this pulls out. The back side, there's going to be this connector here. It's a typical ECM style. You got to move that wedge out of the way, and that pulls off. That pulls out of there. And I also had this black connector here. Let me show you guys here. That went in there. That comes out of there. Those 2 come out of the way. And that's your APM module out. I've already stole the brackets off and put it on my other radio, but that's all pretty easy stuff. Those just transfer over. This is actually the car radio itself. A couple of screws up here you take out, and then this comes out. But this is actually the car radio. The wires are kind of short on this guy, but I'll just show you. There's your 2. And this car has satellite radio, so there's a black antenna plug here. This is the one you're going to want to hook up to your radio, and then this brown one's satellite, gray cable. And then you got 2 connectors here. They go into the back of your radio. They're different sizes, so you can't get them mixed up. So just typical squish tail. You push down on them, pull them out. So anyway, that's your APM out, your car radio out. By the way, didn't know this is going to stay out. You're not going to put this back in the car. You're going to use these 2 connectors. You're going to use all these connectors just to apart. You're not going to use this one. That connector will go out of the way. You won't reuse it. But your main APM, these 2 connectors right here, and this black radio for your car antenna. You need to get an adapter for that, but you'll reuse those. But the rest of these, that other one will stay out of your way. Something kind of important that I had to do some work on here is this bracket right here. And see if I can get a little light on this to show you better. This bracket, I had to kind of grind a little bit of a notch in. I ground this back a little bit because this radio going in is awful tight. So I took this out. This just comes off. This screw here, there's two back here in the corner, back here in the back. Take those, they're 7mm head, pop those out, and this bracket will pop out of here pretty easy for you. Then you can grind this back a little bit, make a notch in this. This is for your, I think it's your data communication cable or something that comes out of your module. Grind that back. I even cut the plastic out so that connector could clear. And I've cut a little bit of this back, this fiberglass back, plastic back a little bit too to make clearance for the radio. So not a super easy install. It takes a little bit of doing, but that's the kind of the biggest tricks to it. And probably what you need to know more than anything on this whole job is that right there. So alright everybody, I want to talk a little bit about the wiring and stuff that goes into this thing. Probably the most critical part. The most critical part is this this module made by Maestro here. It's an integration module. When you pull out your APIM, that 8-inch LCD, that's also a module that does a lot of things. So you got to buy this module here from Maestro. I got all my stuff from Crutchfield. I'm not a Crutchfield salesman, but this Maestro here, I'm going to zoom in on the part number there. It's a ADS-MRR. That's what I ended up using. It's going to work out pretty good. I also got this MFT1. This is a car installation kit. Again, came from Crutchfield. They gave me all the parts. They recommend them and they work, but that's the harness basically. I'm going to go a little bit through the wiring here real quick. The module comes, this connector right here that comes out of your module. We talked about that the APIM module that comes out. It's got that lever connector that undoes, and you pull the connector out of the back of the APIM. This is what goes into that connector. It'll have that lever on it. You plug it in, you turn that lever over, that goes into that connector right there. These wires right here, again, this is all this harness is provided to you by MFT1. There's a couple little, I think this harness, and possibly this little guy here come with the Maestro kit, but the instructions are all in there, but you can kind of see it. This harness right here, this little connector here, headphone connector, goes in the back of your JVC radio. You can see mine's a little crunched. I talked earlier about grinding off the bracket. That's what happens if you don't grind that bracket off. It'll interfere there, your radio won't go all the way down, so grind that bracket down. That goes in the back of the JVC radio. This little connector here goes in the back of your JVC radio, and then this goes in the back of your JVC radio right here. These two big connectors here, we talked about it's actually the CD player, but it's the radio. They're the two connectors you disconnected from the back of your radio with the antenna. These connect to those. So you hook those onto there. These go in the back of your JVC radio. This goes in place of the APIM connector. I don't have a backup camera on my car, so I didn't use this, but that's the wiring for it. Probably the most critical part of this install. You get all that right and you'll be set.